A billionaire disguised as a homeless man is mocked and drenched by young women unaware he's their potential employer. Will they uncover his identity? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to catch our latest thrilling stories. Malik's lungs burned as he sprinted down the rain-soaked alley, his ragged boots slipping on slick cobblestones, the snarls of 5 hooded figures echoing behind him. A glint of steel flashed in the dim streetlight, a knife, maybe 2. He didn't look back. His tattered coat snagged on a dumpster's jagged edge as he vaulted over it, the fabric tearing with a sharp rip. Landing hard, he stumbled, pain shooting through his ankle, but he pushed on, heart hammering. The alley split ahead. He veered left, dodging a stack of crates that crashed behind him as one thug's shoulder clipped him. Malik Kane, billionaire CEO of Apex Ventures, was no ordinary prey. His grimy beard was fake, his clothes stained by design, but the adrenaline coursing through him was real. He'd chosen this disguise to test 3 young women, Lila, Tara, and Simone, for his $1 million community project. Tonight, he'd peel back their masks. The thugs' shouts grew closer, their boots pounding in rhythm. Get him, one barked voice raw with venom. Malik spotted a fire escape ahead, its rusted ladder dangling just out of reach. He leaped, fingers grazing the bottom rung, and hauled himself up, the metal groaning under his weight. A knife clanged against the railing below, missing his leg by inches. He scrambled onto the platform, chest heaving, and darted across the rooftop, leaping a narrow gap to the next building. The city sprawled below, a maze of neon and noise. He slid behind an air vent, catching his breath as the thugs reached the alley below, cursing and scanning the shadows. They didn't look up. Malik waited, pulse slowing, then slipped down another fire escape on the far side, landing in a quieter street. He adjusted his torn cap, blending into the chaos of a bustling city plaza where food trucks hissed and cabs honked. The pursuers were gone for now. Malik settled on a cracked curb near a taco stand, its sizzling meat masking the stench of his soaked clothes. Across the plaza, the women appeared, their laughter sharp against the urban din. Lila, quick-witted, but cutting lead with a swagger. Tara, all bold makeup and sharper attitude, clutched her phone. Simone, quieter, trailed behind, her eyes darting nervously. Malik watched every move cataloged. He'd studied them, talented, ambitious, but untested. Would they show heart or venom? Tara's gaze snapped to him, her lips curling into a sneer. Check this bum, she said, nudging Lila. Bet he smells like trash. Lila smirked, pulling a water bottle from her bag. Let's clean him up. Before Malik could brace himself, icy water slammed into his face, soaking his fake beard and streaming down his neck. Tara's phone was up, filming, her voice dripping with scorn. #homeless makeover, baby, laughter erupted. Lila doubling over while Simone's chuckle was strained, her eyes flickering with guilt. Malik stayed still, water pooling at his feet, his face unreadable. A small crowd gathered, some giggling, others shuffling past. Inside his mind was a blade. This was the test he'd orchestrated. Their cruelty was evidence, their glee a judgment. He wiped his face, voice low and rough. Nice aim, Tara zoomed in, cackling. This is gonna blow up. Lila tossed the empty bottle at his feet, her grin faltering as Malik's gaze locked onto hers, calm, piercing, like he saw through her. For a split second she froze, but Tara yanked her arm. Let's go, we're viral already. Simone lingered, muttering a soft, sorry, before hurrying after them. Malik stood, water dripping, and fished a burner phone from his pocket. He typed 3 words. They've shown themselves. Miles away in a sleek penthouse, his aide Nadia read the message and nodded to a driver. A Rolls-Royce's engine growled to life. Malik shuffled toward a dim side street, his plan crystallizing. The women thought they had humiliated a nobody, but they'd just crossed the man who held their futures. His disguise had worked. They saw weakness, not power. But the game wasn't over. As he rounded a corner, footsteps echoed behind him again. 2 of the thugs had circled back, their eyes glinting with malice. Thought you got away, one sneered, cracking his knuckles. Malik's jaw tightened. He broke into a run, weaving through a crowded market, shoving past stalls of fruit and cheap jewelry. A vendor shouted as apples spilled, slowing his pursuers. Malik ducked under a tarp, slipping into a narrow gap between buildings, his breath ragged. The thugs barreled past, missing him. He waited, crouched in the dark, until their voices faded. Emerging, he straightened, his resolve unbroken. Headlights cut through the mist as the Rolls-Royce glided to a stop, its black frame gleaming. A bodyguard, broad and stone-faced, opened the door. Malik glanced back at the plaza where the women's laughter still lingered in the air. They had no idea what was coming. He slid into the car, the leather cool against his soaked clothes. "To the office," he said, peeling off the fake beard. The driver nodded and the car surged forward, leaving the chaos behind. Malik's mind was already on the next move. The video would hit the internet tonight and he'd be watching. Their reactions, their choices would seal their fates. He wasn't here to punish, he was here to find someone worthy. As the city blurred past, Malik leaned back, the sting of the water and the ache in his ankle fading. This was just the beginning. Malik stood at the edge of Apex Ventures' penthouse office, the city's neon pulse reflecting off the glass walls, his eyes fixed on a laptop screen. The video had erupted online, X, TikTok, Instagram, amassing millions of views in mere hours. Tara's caption, "Viral Gold," crowned the clip of water splashing Malik's face, his expression a stone wall against their laughter. Comments flooded in a storm of cheers and fury. "Hilarious. This is cruel. Who's he?" Malik, now in a crisp suit, the fake beard and tattered clothes discarded, leaned back in his chair. His aide Nadia stood nearby, her tablet humming with updates. 15 million views, she reported, voice sharp. "The outrage is spiking." Malik's jaw tightened, a faint nod. "Let's see how they handle the fire." Across the city, in a cluttered apartment buzzing with tension, Lila, Tara, and Simone huddled on a sagging couch, their phones glowing with notifications. Tara grinned, scrolling through likes. "We're blowing up, girls. This is our moment." Lila, sipping a soda, forced a laugh, but her eyes darkened as she read a scathing comment. "You're monsters for targeting a homeless guy." Simone sat rigid, her phone untouched, fingers twisting in her lap. "These comments. They're saying we're awful." Tara snorted, tossing her hair. "Ignore the losers. We're famous." But the air shifted as Lila's phone pinged. A news site had grabbed the story, blasting the headline, "Viral Prank Video Ignites Public Fury." Lila's smirk vanished. "This is bad." Tara snatched the phone, her face hardening. "It's just drama. We're untouchable." Simone stood pacing, her voice low. "What if he sees it? What if we really hurt him?" Tara waved her off. "He's nobody. Chill." But Simone's words lingered, and Lila stared out the window, her bravado crumbling. At Apex, Malik monitored their social media through a live feed, his tech team pulling data from public posts and messages. Nadia swiped her tablet, displaying Tara's latest story, a selfie captioned, "Haters can't stop us." Malik's eyes narrowed. "She's unshakable," he said. Nadia nodded. Lila's gone quiet, barely posting. Simone's liking posts about regret. Malik leaned forward, fingers drumming. "Push them harder." He turned to Victor, his head of security, a mountain of a man with a scar slicing his brow. "Prep the team. Rolls-Royce at their place dawn tomorrow." Victor gave a curt nod, already on his phone. Malik's plan was precise: dangle an irresistible opportunity, then watch them crack under pressure. He wasn't chasing vengeance, he needed to know who could redeem themselves. The night dragged on the internet, a battleground. Activists demanded justice. Influencers picked sides, some hyping the women, others shredding them. Tara doubled down, posting a video taunting her critics as jealous nobodies. Lila stayed silent, her last post a cryptic, "Didn't mean it to go this far." Simone sent a private message to a friend. "I can't sleep. This feels wrong." Malik read every word, his face a mask. At 2 a.m., Tara's phone lit up with a text from an unknown number, 7 a.m., 1245 Broad Street. "Be there, big opportunity." She squinted, showing it to Lila, who was still awake, doom scrolling through hate comments. "What's this about?" Lila muttered. Tara shrugged. "Some brand deal, probably. We're hot property." Simone slumped in a chair, looked up. "Or it's about him. The guy we, you know." Tara laughed, but it was forced. "No chance. He's nothing." Dawn broke, casting a gray glow over the city. A Rolls-Royce idled outside their apartment, its engine a low rumble. Victor stepped out, his bulk filling the doorway as he knocked. Lila opened the door, her breath catching at his imposing frame. "You're expected," he said, voice like stone. The women exchanged looks, Tara masking nerves with a smirk. Lila clutching her phone, Simone trailing pale and silent. They slid into the car, the leather seats cold, and it sped toward Apex's headquarters. In the penthouse, Malik stood by the window, the city stirring below. Nadia handed him a dossier updated with the women's latest activity. Tara's holding firm, she said. The others are wavering. Malik slipped on glasses, a subtle disguise for the meeting. Let's see who folds. The Rolls-Royce glided into the underground garage, and Victor led the women to a mirrored elevator. As it climbed, Tara muttered, "This better be good." Lila stared at her reflection, stomach churning. Simone gripped her bag, the image of the drenched man haunting her. The elevator opened to a sleek conference room where Malik waited, his back to them, a skyline framing his silhouette. He turned, voice calm but cutting. "Sit down, ladies. We're just getting started." The women froze, the weight of his praise hitting like a shockwave. The Rolls-Royce cut through the city's dawn haze, its tires humming against the asphalt. As Lila, Tara, and Simone sat in tense silence, the leather seats creaking under their shifting weight. Tara tapped her phone, masking her unease with a smirk, while Lila stared out the tinted window, the skyline blurring past. Simone clutched her bag, her knuckles white, the image of the drenched man looping in her mind. Victor, the stone-faced bodyguard, sat up front, his presence a silent warning. The car slowed, turning into the underground garage of Apex Ventures' towering headquarters, its glass facade glinting like a blade. The women exchanged glances as the doors opened, Victor's curt, "Follow me," echoing in the cavernous space. They trailed him to a sleek elevator, its mirrored walls reflecting their strained faces. As it climbed, Tara muttered, "This better be worth dragging us out at dawn." Lila's jaw tightened, her gut screaming that something was off. Simone stayed quiet, her breath shallow. The elevator dinged and the door slid open to a conference room, its long table gleaming under stark lights. Malik stood at the far end, his back to them, his silhouette sharp against the cityscape. He turned, his tailored suit hugging his frame, glasses glinting, voice low and commanding. "Sit." The women froze, the air thick with unspoken weight. Tara recovered first, striding forward with forced confidence, dropping into a chair. Lila hesitated, her eyes scanning Malik's face. Something familiar in his steady gaze unnerved her. Simone sat last, her hands trembling. Malik remained standing, his presence filling the room. "You're here because of a video," he said, each word deliberate. Tara's smirk faltered. Lila's breath caught. Simone's eyes widened. "A video that's made you famous for now." He clicked a remote, and a massive screen lit up, replaying their clip, water splashing, laughter ringing the man's unflinching stare. Lila's stomach churned. Simone looked away. Tara leaned back, arms crossed, but her foot tapped nervously. Malik paced, his voice cutting. "You thought it was a game. It wasn't." He stopped, locking eyes with each of them. "I'm offering you a chance not to erase what you did, but to prove you're more than that moment." Tara scoffed. "What, like charity work? We're not here to play saints." Malik's gaze hardened, but he didn't bite. "This is about leadership. Apex Ventures is launching a community initiative. I need representatives who can inspire, not destroy. Impress me and you're in. Fail and you're out." Lila leaned forward, her voice cautious. "Why us after?" That Malik's lips twitched, not quite a smile. "Because I believe in second chances. But they're earned." Simone's voice broke through, soft but firm. "We messed up. I'm sorry." Tara shot her a glare, but Malik nodded, noting her sincerity. Before he could continue, the door burst open. Nadia rushed in, her tablet flashing red. "Sir, we've got a problem. The video's been leaked to a major outlet. They're digging into the man's identity." Malik's eyes narrowed. "Who's the source?" Nadia swiped her screen. "Anonymous tip, but it's gaining traction." "They're close to connecting dots." Tara's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, her face paling. "A news alert, mystery man in viral video, billionaire in disguise." Lila grabbed the phone, her voice shaking. "This can't be real." Simone stared at Malik, pieces clicking. "It's you, isn't it?" The room went silent. Malik's expression unreadable. He stepped closer, voice low. "Focus on the task, not the rumors. You've got 1 hour to prepare a pitch why you deserve this role. Go." He gestured to a side room stocked with laptops and data. The women scrambled, Tara shoving past Lila to grab a computer, her bravado cracking. Lila's mind raced, guilt and ambition colliding. Simone sat staring at the screen, then typed furiously, her resolve hardening. Outside, Malik conferenced with Nadia and Victor. "The leak's a problem," Nadia said. "If they confirm it's you, the test's compromised." Victor cracked his knuckles. "Want me to shut it down?" Malik shook his head. Let it play out. If they figure it out, it's part of the test. He glanced at the women through a one-way glass, their frantic energy palpable. Tara was barking orders. Lila was scribbling notes. Simone was working alone, her focus intense. The clock ticked down. With minutes left, Tara's temper flared. She slammed her laptop, accusing Lila of stealing her ideas. Lila snapped back. "You're the one who got us into this," Simone stood voice sharp. "Enough, we're blowing it." The argument died as Malik re-entered his presence, silencing them. "Time's up." Present. Tara went first, her pitch slick but hollow, leaning on charm. Lila followed her ideas solid, but her delivery shaky, guilt seeping through. Simone's pitch was raw, honest. She spoke of redemption, of using their mistake to fuel change. Malik listened, his face a mask, but his eyes lingered on Simone. As they finished, Nadia burst in again. "Sir, the outlet just published. They've got your name." Malik's phone lit up with alerts, the story breaking. Billionaire Malik Kane humiliated in viral prank. The women gasped, Tara's chair scraping back Lila's hands, covering her mouth. Simone's eyes locked on Malik. He stood, voice calm but electric. "Now you know. The question is, what do you do next?" The room crackled with tension, their fates hanging in the balance. The conference room buzzed with tension, the air thick as Lila, Tara, and Simone stood frozen, the bombshell of Malik's identity still ringing in their ears. The screen behind him flashed with news alerts. Billionaire Malik Kane targeted in cruel prank. Tara's chair scraped as she sank back, her bravado crumbling. Lila's hands trembled, gripping her notes, while Simone's gaze stayed locked on Malik, her jaw set. He stepped forward, voice like steel. "You know who I am. Now show me who you are." He gestured to Nadia, who strode in with a stack of folders, slamming them onto the table. "Your first test starts now. You have 2 hours to design a community outreach plan, something real, something that matters. Resources are in those files. Move." The women scrambled at Tara, snatching a folder first, her eyes darting with panic. Lila fumbled, papers spilling, while Simone opened hers methodically, already scanning. Malik watched from behind the one-way glass, his arms crossed, Nadia at his side. "They're rattled," she said, swiping her tablet. "Tara's posts have stopped. Lila's trending for all the wrong reasons." Malik nodded, his focus unwavering. "Let's see who steps up." In the room, Tara barked at Lila. "Don't just sit there, grab the stats," Lila snapped back. "You're not the boss here." Simone ignored them, her pen flying across a notepad, sketching a plan for a youth mentorship program. The clock ticked mercilessly. Tara's ideas were flashy billboards, influencer collabs, but shallow, her frustration boiling as Lila pointed out flaws. "You're tanking us," Tara hissed, shoving a chair. Lila stood, voice shaking. "Maybe if you hadn't posted that video, we wouldn't be here." Simone slammed her folder shut, startling them. "Focus or we're done." Her words cut through and they fell silent, diving back into work, but the rift was clear. Malik's phone buzzed, a text from Victor protesters outside. "Media's here." He glanced at Nadia. "Keep it contained." She nodded, rushing out. Through the glass, Malik saw the women's dynamic shift. Simone took the lead, assigning tasks, while Tara sulked, her confidence shaken. Lila hesitated, then contributed a solid budget outline, her guilt fueling her effort. An hour in, Nadia returned, her face grim. "Protesters broke past security. They're in the lobby, demanding you address the video." Malik's eyes narrowed. Time to raise the stakes. He strode into the conference room, the women jumping as the door swung open. "New task," he said, voice clipped. "You're presenting your plans to a live audience now. Follow me." Tara's mouth dropped. "What?" "We're not ready." Malik didn't flinch. "Life doesn't wait. Move." He led them to an elevator, Victor joining his bulk, a silent threat. The women clutched their folders, Tara muttering curses. Lila's face pale, Simone's eyes sharp with resolve. The elevator opened to a chaotic lobby, cameras flashing, protesters chanting, "No excuses, own your shame." Security held the crowd back, but the energy was electric. Malik stepped onto a makeshift stage, the women trailing, exposed under glaring lights. He raised a hand, silencing the crowd. These women made a mistake. Today, they get a chance to make it right. Hear them out. The crowd jeered, but Malik's authority held. Tara went first, her pitch faltering under boos, her charm useless. Lila followed, her voice unsteady but sincere, outlining a food drive for the homeless, her eyes glistening as she spoke of second chances. The crowd softened, some nodding. Simone stepped up, her voice clear, pitching her mentorship program with passion, tying it to her own struggles growing up. A few protesters clapped, moved. Malik watched his expression unreadable, but his mind cataloged every word, every reaction. As Simone finished, a protester lunged forward, tossing a water bottle at the stage. It missed, shattering on the floor, but Tara flinched, stepping back. Lila froze while Simone instinctively shielded Lila, her stance defiant. Security tackled the protester, dragging him out as the crowd roared. Malik stepped in, voice booming. Enough! They've spoken. You decide what's next. He turned to the women, his eyes piercing. Back upstairs. We're not done. The elevator ride was silent, the women shaken, but adrenalized. In the conference room, Malik faced them. You faced a That's step one. Step two is harder. Tomorrow you're going into the community hands-on. Prove you mean what you said. Tara scoffed. What? Like volunteering? That's it. Malik's gaze was ice. It's not about photo ops. It's about impact. Fail and you're out. Lila swallowed, nodding. Simone met his eyes, her resolve firm. We'll do it. Tara rolled her eyes but stayed quiet, her defiance waning. As they left to prepare, Nadia approached Malik, her tablet flashing. The media's spinning this, some are calling it a PR stunt. Malik's lips twitched. Let them talk. The truth shows in their actions. He glanced at the women's retreating figures. Tara's posture slumped, Lila's steps heavy, Simone's head high. The test was working, cracks were forming, and true colors were bleeding through. The Apex Ventures conference room was a pressure cooker, the air heavy as Malik faced Lila, Tara, and Simone, his gaze cutting through their unease. The women stood still, reeling from the chaotic lobby presentation, the echo of protesters' chants lingering in their minds. Malik's voice was low, deliberate. You survived the crowd. Now comes the real test. Tomorrow, you're not just planning, you're doing. You'll work in the community hands-on to prove your pitches weren't just words. Tara's eyes narrowed, her arms crossed. What, like serving soup? That's beneath me. Malik's stare was unrelenting. It's about impact, not ego. You'll see. Lila shifted, her voice cautious. What exactly are we doing? Malik gestured to Nadia, who handed each woman a tablet. You're assigned to a struggling community center. Your task, implement a piece of your plan, mentorship, food aid, whatever you pitched. Resources are limited. Stakes are high. You've got one day. Simone nodded, already scrolling, while Tara scoffed, tossing her tablet onto the table. This is a setup, Malik ignored hers, his tone shifting softer but piercing. I grew up in a place like that, center. Dirt floors, no heat, no hope. I clawed my way out. I'm giving you a chance to show you can build, not break. The women froze, his words landing like a punch. Lila's eyes flickered with guilt. Simone's jaw tightened, inspired. Tara looked away, unnerved. Before they could respond, the door swung open and 3 new faces entered, another group of candidates, sharp, polished, exuding confidence. Their leader, a woman named Kira, flashed a smile. Mr. Kane, we're ready to join the challenge. Malik nodded. Meet your competition. They're here for the same role. Only the best walk away. Tara's face twisted, her voice sharp. You're pitting us against them. Malik's lips twitched. Life's a fight. Get used to it. The new group sized up the women, Kira's gaze lingering on Tara's scowl. Nadia ushered everyone to a briefing room where Malik laid out the rules. Each team had 1 day to execute their plan at the community center, judged on impact and leadership. As the team split to prepare, Tara pulled Lila aside in a hallway, her voice a hiss. We're screwed unless we play dirty. Kira's group looks like they've done this before. Lila shook her head, uneasy. We just need to focus. Tara's eyes glinted. No, we sabotage them. I saw Kira's tablet, her plans on it. We take it, tweak it, make them look like amateurs. Lila balked. That's too far. Tara gripped her arm. You want to lose to them? To him, Lila yanked free, storming off, but Tara's words gnawed at her. Simone, overhearing, watched Tara with suspicion, but said nothing, her focus on her own plan. The next morning, the teams arrived at the community center, a crumbling building in a neglected neighborhood, its walls peeling, kids playing in a littered lot. Malik stood at the entrance, his presence commanding as he addressed the group. This isn't a game. These people need real help. Show me you get that. Kira's team dove in, organizing a tech workshop for teens, their efficiency intimidating. Simone rallied a group of kids for her mentorship program, her warmth drawing them in. Lila coordinated a food distribution, her hands shaking, but her resolve firm. Tara, meanwhile, lagged, her eyes darting to Kira's team. During a break, Tara slipped into the center's office where Kira's tablet sat unattended. Her fingers hovered, heart racing, then swiped it, slipping it into her bag. She rejoined her team, smirking, but Simone caught the move, her eyes narrowing. As the day unfolded, chaos erupted. Kira's team scrambled when their presentation glitched, their data mysteriously altered. Kira confronted Tara, voice low. "You touched my tablet, didn't you?" Tara shrugged, feigning innocence. "Prove it." Lila overheard her stomach twisting. She knew Tara's stunt could sink them all. Simone pulled Lila aside, urgent. "We need to tell Malik. This isn't right." Lila hesitated, torn between loyalty and guilt. Before they could act, a fight broke out in the lot, two teens caught stealing food, shoving each other as a crowd formed. Malik watched from a distance, his eyes sharp. Simone sprinted over, stepping between the teens, her voice calm but firm. "Talk it out, don't fight." She de-escalated the situation, earning nods from the crowd. Lila joined, helping distribute the remaining food, her guilt pushing her to act. Tara stood back, arms crossed, her sabotage unnoticed, but her leadership absent. Kira's team recovered, pivoting to a backup plan, their resilience clear. As the day ended, Malik gathered everyone, his voice cutting through the exhaustion. "I saw everything, every move, every choice. Some of you built, others tore down." His eyes lingered on Tara, who flinched. "Tomorrow we review. Be ready." The women left, Tara's smirk gone, Lila's head bowed, Simone's shoulders squared. In the Rolls-Royce back to Apex, Tara whispered to Lila, "Stick with me, or you're out." Lila pulled away, silent. Simone stared out the window, her mind racing. Malik, back at his office, reviewed footage with Nadia. "Tara's playing dirty," she said. Malik nodded. "Let it play. She's digging her own grave." The test was peeling back layers, and the truth was clawing its way out. The community center buzzed with frenetic energy, its cracked walls vibrating with the chatter of volunteers and the clatter of supplies. Lila, Tara, and Simone worked under the morning sun, their faces slick with sweat, the weight of Malik's looming evaluation pressing down. Lila stacked boxes of canned goods, her arms aching, but her focus sharp. Simone coached a group of teens through a mock job interview, her voice steady despite the chaos. Tara lingered near the food line, her tablet in hand, half-heartedly directing volunteers while stealing glances at Kira's rival team, who were setting up a mobile health clinic across the lot. Malik stood on the center steps, his suit replaced with a plain jacket to blend in, his eyes tracking every move. Nadia whispered beside him, "The setup's ready. Signal when you want it to go." Malik nodded, his expression unreadable. "Wait for my mark." The day was a crucible, and he'd engineered a crisis to test the women's instincts under fire. The center's lot was a hive, kids darted between tables. Volunteers shouted orders, and a news van idled nearby, cameras rolling. Tara's voice cut through, sharp and impatient. "Lila, move faster, we're falling behind." Lila bit her tongue, hefting another box, her guilt over Tara's sabotage fueling her drive. Simone caught Lila's eye, offering a quick nod of encouragement, but her own focus stayed on the teens, one of whom was nervously reciting a resume. Kira's team moved like a machine, their clinic already drawing a line of residents, their efficiency a silent taunt. Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered the rhythm. Smoke billowed from the center's kitchen, thick and acrid, as flames licked the doorway. Panic erupted, volunteers dropped crates, kids scattered, and the crowd surged back. Malik's hand twitched, signaling Nadia. The fire was controlled, a staged test with hidden sprinklers and a fire crew on standby, but the women didn't know that. Lila froze for a split second, then sprinted toward the kitchen, shouting, "Is anyone inside?" A volunteer yelled back. "Two kids." They didn't get out. Lila didn't hesitate. She tore off her jacket, wrapping it around her face, and plunged into the smoke, her lungs burning as she groped through the haze. Simone saw Lila vanish and bolted after her, grabbing a fire extinguisher from a wall. "Lila, wait," she called, her voice muffled by the chaos. Tara, meanwhile, backed away, her tablet slipping from her hands, eyes wide. "This is insane," she muttered, shoving through the crowd toward safety, ignoring a volunteer's plea for help. In the kitchen, Lila stumbled over debris, coughing, her eyes streaming. She spotted two teens huddled near a stove, terrified. Come on, move, she urged, grabbing their arms. Simone burst in, spraying foam to clear a path, her movements precise despite the heat. Together, they dragged the kids toward the exit, smoke choking their lungs. Outside, the crowd cheered as Lila and Simone emerged, coughing but triumphant, the teens clinging to them. Malik watched his jaw tight, noting every detail. Tara stood at the edge, her face pale, her inaction glaring. Kira's team, meanwhile, had pivoted, organizing evacuees with calm efficiency, their leader barking orders like a general. The sprinklers kicked in, dousing the flames, and the fire crew swept through, confirming the crisis was over. Malik stepped forward, his voice cutting through the din. Everyone regroup, now! The women gathered, Lila and Simone, breathless, Tara avoiding their eyes. Malik's gaze swept over them. You faced a crisis. Some acted, some didn't. Tara's head snapped up, defensive. I was getting help. Malik's stare silenced her. Actions speak, not excuses. He turned to the crowd, raising his voice. These teams came to help. Judge them by what you saw. The residents murmured, some clapping for Lila and Simone, others glaring at Tara. Kira's team earned nods for their discipline, but Lila's raw courage stood out. Back inside, Malik pulled the women aside, his tone low. You've got one final task. Tonight you'll pitch your full vision to the center's board. It's your last shot to prove you belong. Tara's eyes flashed with desperation. What about them? She jabbed a finger at Kira's team. Malik's response was cold. Worry about yourself. As the women prepared, Tara cornered Lila in a hallway, her voice a venomous whisper. You're making me look bad. Ditch Simone or I'll tell Malik about your part in the tablet thing. Lila's face paled. She'd known about Tara's sabotage but hadn't acted. I didn't do anything, she hissed, shoving past. Simone nearby overheard her trust in Tara crumbling. The evening pitch was a battleground. Kira's team went first, their polished presentation earning applause. Tara's pitch was frantic. Her confidence shot, her ideas disjointed. Lila spoke next, her voice raw, weaving her kitchen rescue into a plea for community trust, her guilt pushing her to bare her soul. Simone closed her vision for mentorship, clear and heartfelt, her resolve unshaken. The board listened, stone-faced, as Malik watched from the back, his decision crystallizing. After the pitches, he gathered the women. You've shown me enough. Tomorrow I choose. Tara's hand shook. Lila's eyes glistened. Simone stood tall. As they left, a news crew ambushed them outside, cameras flashing. How do you justify your actions? A reporter shouted. Tara froze. Lila stammered, but Simone stepped forward, voice firm. We're learning from our mistakes. Watch what we do next. Malik, observing from a distance, nodded slightly. The test was nearly complete, and the truth was undeniable. The community center's meeting room was a pressure vault, its dim lights casting long shadows as Malik stood before Lila, Tara, and Simone, his presence commanding silence. The women sat, their faces etched with exhaustion and dread, the weight of the past days crushing. Outside, the news vans hadn't left their cameras, hungry for more. Malik's voice was low, deliberate, each word a blade. You've had your tests, you've faced crowds, crises, and yourselves. Now it's time for the truth. He clicked a remote, and the screen behind him lit up with the viral video. Water splashing his face, their laughter echoing, his stoic gaze unbroken. Lila's breath hitched, Simone's hands clenched, Tara's eyes darted away. Malik stepped closer, his suit sharp, his glasses gone, his face unmistakable. That was me, he said, voice steady but searing. The man you mocked, drenched and filmed. Me. The room felt like it shrank, the air sucked out. Tara's chair scraped as she leaned back, defiance flickering. Lila's eyes welled, her hands covering her mouth. Simone met his gaze, her jaw tight, shame and resolve warring within. Malik paced his words, measured but relentless. I didn't bring you here to shame you. I brought you to see if you could rise above that moment, to see if you could lead, not destroy. He stopped, facing Tara. You sabotaged Kira's team. I know. Tara's face paled, her voice sharp. You can't prove that Malik's stare was ice. I don't need to. Your actions did. He turned to Lila. You knew about it and stayed silent. Why? Lila's voice broke, tears spilling. I was scared. I wanted to fit in to win. I'm so sorry. I've been sick with it since. Her raw honesty hung in the air, and Malik nodded, his expression softening slightly. Simone spoke, her voice steady. I should have stopped them that day. I didn't. But I'm here to make it right. Malik's eyes lingered on her, assessing. Tara stood, her voice venomous. This is a setup. You're just playing games to humiliate us. She stormed toward the door, but Malik's voice stopped her cold. Walk out and you're done. Not just here, anywhere. I have influence. Tara froze her hand on the knob, then shoved the door open and left her footsteps echoing down the hall. The room was silent, the weight of her exit crushing. Malik turned back to Lila and Simone. You two stay. One last chance. He gestured to the screen now showing the community center's needs broken equipment, underfunded programs. The board's watching. Convince them you're worth investing in. You've got 1 hour. Lila wiped her eyes, nodding, while Simone grabbed a tablet, already brainstorming. As they worked, the door burst open. Kira, flanked by her team, stormed in, her voice sharp. We heard Tara's out. We want her spot. Malik raised a hand. Earn it. Pitch against them. Now, the room became a battleground. Lila and Simone scrambling to refine their plan. Kira's team polished and aggressive. Lila's pitch leaned on her kitchen rescue, proposing a safety training program, her voice raw but compelling. Simone went bigger, outlining a scalable mentorship network, her passion electric. Kira's team countered with a tech-driven job program, sleek but impersonal. The board listened, their faces unreadable. As the pitches ended, Simone stood unprompted, her voice cutting through. I'm not done. I know what I did was wrong, but I'm not just words. I'm pledging my savings, every cent, to jumpstart this care center's repairs. That's my proof. The board murmured, impressed. Lila's eyes widened, inspired, and she added, I'll volunteer here weekly no matter what you decide. Malik's lips twitched, a rare hint of approval. Kira's team faltered, their pitch suddenly flat. The board chair stood. We'll deliberate. Results tomorrow. As the room cleared, Malik pulled Lila and Simone aside. You showed me something today. Not perfection, heart. He glanced at the door Tara had stormed through. She chose her path. You're choosing yours. Outside, Tara stood alone, the news crews swarming. A reporter shoved a mic in her face. Why'd you walk out? Tara snapped. It's rigged, and pushed through her defiance hollow. The cameras followed her downfall, streaming live. Back inside, Lila and Simone sat exhausted but resolute. Simone's phone buzzed, a text from her sister. Proud of you for stepping up. Lila stared at hers. No messages, just the viral video still trending. She deleted it, her hand shaking. Malik watched from his office, Nadia at his side. Simone's bold, she said. Lila's growing. Malik nodded. They're close. One more push. He glanced at the city skyline, the weight of his own past poverty, rejection, redemption mirroring their struggle. The final call was coming, and it would change everything. The Apex Ventures boardroom was a crucible, its sleek walls amplifying the tension as Lila and Simone stood before the community center's board, their faces taut with anticipation. Malik sat at the head, his presence, a quiet storm, his eyes scanning the women and Kira's rival team, who waited across the room, their confidence unshaken. The board chair, a stern woman with gray streaks in her hair, rose, her voice cutting through the silence. We've made our decision. Lila's hands clenched, Simone's breath caught, and Kira's team leaned forward, expectant. Outside, news crews pressed against the glass lobby cameras, flashing the city's pulse pounding. The chair continued. This wasn't just about plans, it was about heart. Two of you showed it. She paused, eyes locking on Lila and Simone. You're in. A gasp escaped Lila. Her knees buckling as Simone gripped her arm, steadying her, a faint smile breaking through. Kira's face tightened, her team murmuring protests, but Malik raised a hand, silencing them. The decision's final. Lila, Simone, your mentorship and safety programs start next week. Apex will fund them fully. The board clapped, but the weight of the moment hung heavy. Kira stormed out, her team trailing, their polished facade cracked. Malik stood, addressing the women. You earned this, don't waste it. His voice softened, a rare warmth seeping through. You've got work to do. The women nodded, their resolve steel, but the victory was bittersweet. Memories of their mistake, of Tara's exit, lingered like scars. As they left the boardroom, Nadia handed them contracts, her nod one of respect. Sign these. You're official. Lila's hand shook as she signed it. Simone's was steady, her eyes bright with purpose. The next week was a whirlwind. Lila and Simone threw themselves into the community center, its crumbling lot now buzzing with action. Lila led safety drills, her voice firm as she taught kids evacuation routes, her guilt transforming into drive. Simone mentored teens her savings, already funding new laptops, her laughter mingling with theirs as they built resumes. The center's director, a gruff man named Amos, watched impressed. "You're changing things," he told them, his usual scowl softening. But the past wasn't done. A news alert hit Simone's phone. Tara Speaks Out claims Apex setup. The article quoted Tara defiant, accusing Malik of orchestrating their humiliation. Lila's face paled, but Simone shook her head. "She's digging deeper. Let her." They pushed on, refusing to let her shadow dim their work. One evening, as the center's new lights glowed, a crowd gathered for the program's launch. Malik arrived his Rolls-Royce drawing stairs, but he blended in, shaking hands, his jacket casual. Lila spotted him, her voice low. "Why us, after everything?" Malik met her eyes, his past flashing alleys, hunger, rejection. "Because I was you once, lost but not broken. You proved you could grow." Simone overheard her, respect deepening. The event kicked off, kids presenting projects, residents cheering. Simone took the mic, her voice clear. "We messed up, but we're here to make it right for you, for us." The crowd roared their forgiveness, a balm. Lila joined her smile genuine, the weight of shame lifting. As the night wound down, a teen from Simone's group rushed up breathless. "There's a fight out back. Some guys from the block." Simone and Lila sprinted, Malik trailing, his instincts sharp. In the alley, two teens squared off, fists raised, a crowd egging them on. Simone stepped between them, her voice commanding. "Stop. Talk it out." Lila flanked her, calming the onlookers, her training kicking in. Malik watched, nodding, as the tension dissolved, the teens backing down. Amos clapped Simone's shoulder. "You're naturals." Later, Malik pulled them aside, the city's skyline glittering behind him. "You're not just representatives, you're leaders. Keep going." Lila's eyes glistened. Simone's chin lifted, their paths now clear. Months later, the center thrived, its programs a beacon. Lila and Simone stood at its entrance, watching kids stream in, their bond forged in fire. Lila's phone buzzed, a job offer from another nonprofit inspired by her work. She smiled, declining. Her place was here. Simone's mentorship network had spread, her vision scaling. Malik in his office reviewed their progress, a rare smile breaking. Nadia noted, "They're exceeding projections." Malik nodded. "They're rewriting their story." He glanced at a photo on his desk, him young in tattered clothes, and a reminder of his own second chance. The city hummed outside, and for Lila, Simone, and Malik, the past was a lesson, not a chain. Their work wasn't done, but it was a start, a redemption built on action, not words. From a cruel prank to redemption, Lila and Simone transformed shame into leadership, rebuilding a community with Malik's guidance. Thanks for listening. Like, share, and subscribe to catch our latest stories. Don't miss out. Hit the bell for notifications.